New wave icon Lene Lovich reflects on Detroit roots ahead of Pine Knob with Devo B-52s. Despite moving to England at a young age, new wave icon Lene Lovich says she still feels a deep connection to Detroit, where she was born. Lovich is set to open for Devo and the B-52s at Pine Knob on September 25th, her first Michigan show in decades. Before she commanded the stage as New Wave's Queen of Quirk, Lene Lovich was a self-described Wednesday Addams, a strange, quiet kid whose eccentric streak would become her signature. Now 76, the Detroit-born post-punk new wave pioneer who first drew major attention in the late 1970s is still touring and will return to Michigan on September 25th to open for Devo and the B-52s on their Comic De-Evolution tour, including a September 25th https://www.ticketmaster.com/B52s Devo Cosmic De-Evolution Tour, Clarkston, Michigan, 09/25/2025. Event 800062 CC 2635 GL equals 1 my 4 Vaga MTI O my score NTIX NHT5 WW1 NTIX. Stop at Pine Knob Music Theater in Clarkston. With her mother and siblings around the age of 13, Lovich says Detroit remains very deep-rooted in her. I think where you're born is always going to have an almost spiritual connection to you, Lovich told the Detroit Free Press in a phone interview. That's where I came into the world. Although I haven't lived any of my adult life there, I still feel a very strong connection to it. How Detroit left a lasting impression on Lovich's creativity. Lovich's earliest Detroit memories include simple pleasures, such as buying comics with pocket money, enjoying her favorite foods, and spending time with friends on the street. I was always a weird child, she said. I was weird when I was in Detroit, and then I was weird again when I came to England. It's like I was the Wednesday Addams of my class at school. So I probably spent a lot of time trying to be invisible to avoid being beaten up by the other kids. Lovich said those early experiences taught her lessons she later carried into her creative life, helping her embrace her edge. Although I'm a creative person, at some point, you learn that it's not always good to express your ideas in certain situations, she said. So, as soon as I was able to create my own situation as I got older, then it was really quite a release for me to be creative and say the things that I wanted to say. A reclusive figure with an enduring legacy, known for her theatrical stage presence, playful vocal acrobatics, and avant-garde style, Lovich helped shape the new wave sound of the late 1970s and 80s. Her 1978 debut album, Stateless, included the single Lucky Number, which climbed the UK charts in 1979 and became a cult hit in the US. Her second album, Flex, 1980, gained her even more traction in America. However, after the release of her third album, No Man's Land, 1982, Lovich stepped away from the spotlight. She clashed with her record label over demands to conform to mainstream media at the time, unwilling to compromise the offbeat style that set her apart. Since then, she has recorded only 2 more studio albums, March, 1989, and Shadows and Dust, 2005. Through the decades, however, she has kept that distinct, quirky energy, maintaining a dedicated following that appreciates her authenticity. Described as a reclusive figure, Lovich took a break from the limelight once again in the 1990s and early 2000s, this time to focus on raising her 2 daughters. She made occasional appearances before forming the Lene Lovich Band in 2012. She has since been consistently touring the UK and Europe. Lovich returns to North America, touring with new wave legends, now performing across North America for the first time in decades. The band's website, https://lenelovich.net/tour.htm, lists 27 shows in the US and Canada, beginning in Des Moines on September 16th. Of those dates, 12 will see Lovich opening for fellow new wave artists Devo and the B-52s on their Comic De-Evolution tour, including a September 25th https://lenelovich.net/tour.htm, lists 27 shows in the US and Canada. beginning in Des Moines on September 16th. www.ticketmaster.com/The B-52s Devo Cosmic De-Evolution Tour, Clarkston, Michigan, 09/25/2025. Event 08062 CC2 6163 Galaxy 1MI. She also recalled joining the B-52s in animal rights events and campaigns earlier in her career. As part of her activism, Lovich co-wrote and recorded the 1986 PETA anthem, Don't Kill the Animals. https://watch/VLES-H with Nina Hagen, which became an iconic track for the movement. A shout-out and throwback from Thomas Dolby. Musician and producer Thomas Dolby shared his excitement for the upcoming tour on social media, writing, "Great to see Lene Lovich is touring again." He posted the message alongside a photo of himself with Lovich and Les Chappell, her longtime partner and collaborator, taken in 1981, shortly after she recorded New Toy. https://youtube.com/watchv gets 43t1if18 pref.hn/click/camref 110 lktto pubref local entertainment Detroit B-52s destination http://www.stubhub-clarkston-tickets-9/25/2025 event 1584215. Dolby also noted that he wrote New Toy specifically for Lovich after seeing her perform live, poking fun at consumerism and materialism that remain relevant nearly 45 years later. Lovich's look, bold, unconventional, and often secondhand. During her Detroit tour stops years ago, Lovich said she'd shop at places like Cinderella's Attic, a vintage clothing store that once operated in Dearborn before relocating to Birmingham. The store has since closed, but Lovich still remembers it as a place full of unexpected treasures. "I was always into wearing secondhand clothes because I didn't have much money," she said. "But when I was younger, Cinderella's Attic was always a great place to be because it was unpredictable," she recalled. "I've never been a fashion person or followed fashion trends. I just like to go into shops like that and try to find something unique."